Hello, my name's Mrs. Deneen. I'm Head of Latin at King's School, and I'd like to talk to you about the GCSE Latin course at King's. I hope you might be considering taking Latin for GCSE because you enjoy learning the subject and you find it interesting. But there are some other excellent reasons on the screen now for choosing it as a GCSE subject. You can see that it's a really rich subject that connects with all sorts of other subjects on the curriculum. I'd like to pick up on the point at the bottom of the screen. Latin's a highly respected GCSE. That's partly because it's a challenging subject. I'm not going to pretend it's an easy subject, but the plus side of that is that it will stand out on a CV and will certainly impress colleges, universities and employers, especially if you've got your GCSE Latin from a state school, because that's quite unusual these days. You'll be taking your Latin GCSE in 2023. We do the WJC EDUCAS examination. There are 3 exam papers. There's a Latin language paper, which is testing your ability to understand a passage of Latin that you haven't seen before. You're tested in the form of comprehension questions and short parts of translation from Latin to English. There is no translation from English to Latin. The second paper is called Latin Literature and Sources. This takes a theme, and for 2023, the theme is superstition and magic. So we will study extracts from several Roman authors on this theme. For example, this year we're studying extracts from authors such as Ovid, Virgil, Pliny, Suetonius. It's quite satisfying to start looking at some real Latin that was written about 2,000 years ago and to realise that we're capable of accessing original text, and we learn about this very, very interesting theme of superstition and magic. And then the third paper, we have a choice. We can either do some more Latin literature, but what we tend to do is choose the Roman civilization option because it makes quite a nice contrast with the other 2 papers. Here we have a topic of Roman civilization, and for 2023 the topic is daily life in a Roman town. We learn all about that, and in the exam you answer questions on that subject. It's a bit like a mini history paper. So what will you be doing in years 10 and 11 in your lessons in Latin GCSE? Obviously we'll be continuing with our language work, which will be very similar to the work you've done in years 8 and 9, and we will continue to use the Cambridge Latin course, finishing book 3 and doing part of book 4. We don't need to finish book 4 to reach GCSE level. Vocabulary is very important. There is a GCSE vocabulary list published, and we need to learn that list over the course of the 2 years. So we start that right from the beginning of year 10. Obviously, when we're ready, normally about the end of year 10, we start the Latin literature element of the course, reading the texts, understanding the meaning and appreciating the context and the way in which those texts are written. And during year 10, we do a study of Rome, 1st century AD. Our stories are all set in Rome, and we learn about the city, the politics, the religion, the people who lived there. This ties very nicely in with our specific topic of daily life in a Roman town. So we will be learning about the housing, how people lived from day to day, and that will prepare us well for the 3rd paper in the exam. We will study primary source material as evidence for this topic. So we'll be looking at pictures, sculptures, writings in the same way you would in a history course. Finally, I would just like to show you the most recent results from King's School to reassure you, encourage you that you can do very well at Latin. In the last 4 years, everybody has achieved a pass grade, A star to C, or in the new system 5 to 9, and a very high percentage of our students achieve the top grades, A star to A or 7, 8 and 9. So that's hopefully very encouraging and yeah, for all of you. Thank you very much for listening.